If you're new to my channel, then welcome. It's really great to have you here. I hope you find the content on this page useful and that you will be able to find tips and tricks that will help you on your financial journey wherever you may be. The purpose of this series is to give you a full overview of Vanguard, what the platform is, its history, how you can invest, the type of funds that they offer, and which funds would be best for you. The reason why I decided to focus on Vanguard only is because this is the platform that I personally use to invest. I have a stocks and shares ISA with Vanguard, and I genuinely believe this is one of the best brokers on the market. And I will go through those reasons in these videos. So if you've been considering Vanguard, you've not taken that step yet, or you already have an account open, but you're not too sure what to do next, then this series is definitely for you. So in part one of this series, which is today, I will be going over the history of Vanguard. And this is actually a really important part of Vanguard and what it offers today. Then on a very high level today, I will discuss some of the funds they offer, but I will discuss this in a lot more detail in parts 3 and 4. And then today I will also be discussing the requirements or the minimum deposits you have to make in order to open a Vanguard account. In part 2, I will be discussing the different types of accounts that Vanguard offer, such as the stocks and shares ISA, junior ISA, general investment accounts, and I'll be going through each one so you can decide which type of account you want to open. In part 3, I'll be going into greater detail about the funds that Vanguard offer, and I will show you how to find the stocks or the shares that these funds are investing in so that you're aware of where your money is going. The last part of the series, part 4, I will be going through the investor information sheet. This is available for each fund that Vanguard offer, so they have one per fund. I will take you through it, what it all means. There's a lot of text and sometimes it looks a bit scary, but it's not that scary. There's a few key things to look for, so I will make sure to cover that. So if you're excited about this series and you want to learn more, then of course, please do hit subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to my channel. Of course, feel free to share this with somebody else who may also be looking into investing, but just not too sure how these platforms work. This could be a really helpful series for them. All right, so let's get into today's video. Vanguard was founded in 1975 by John C. Bogle, an American investor and philanthropist. He founded Vanguard on the premises that he wanted it to be different from other investment brokerages, as he believed a mutual fund company should not have outside owners seeking profits. Since its inception, Vanguard pride themselves in being a mutual fund company that is owned by its shareholders, e.g. the investors, and acts in the sole interest of these shareholders. So you may or may not have heard that Vanguard are renowned for their low-cost funds that they offer to their investors. And one of the ways that they are able to offer such low-cost fees is through redirecting some of their profits to the customers or the shareholders, and they do this by reducing the fees. So looking at this graph, the numbers in the circles show the assets under Vanguard management starting in 1975 up until today. So it started at 1.7 billion in 1975 and today it sits at 6.2 trillion. Then you can see numbers above, which I've added into this graph, and these numbers show the fees that have changed over time. So as the assets under management have increased, the fees that Vanguard charge have also decreased. So back in 1975, the fees sat around 0.68% for their funds, whereas today the average fees for Vanguard funds sit around 0.1%. With a Vanguard account, there will be two types of fees that you'll need to consider as an investor. The first is an annual account fee, which is set at 0.15% of your total investment portfolio. This fee is charged on a quarterly basis. For anybody who has over £250,000 invested in Vanguard, however, this fee is completely waived. And the second fee is a fund-related fee per fund you invest in. This fee includes ongoing costs, transaction costs, and one-off costs where applicable. The fees do vary depending on which funds you invest in, but the vast majority of fund fees lay between 0.1% and 0.65%. Now for a bit of context, let's say that you are going to invest £1,000 into the Vanguard FTSE 100 Index Accumulation Fund. You would be charged 0.15% as an annual account fee, and then you would also be charged a fund-related fee of 0.14%. So if you add those two fees together, that is a grand total of £2.90 per year. Of course, keep in mind that is £1,000 invested, and if you're paying £2.90 per year, that is considered a pretty low fee. Vanguard offer an array of funds, but do keep in mind that they only offer their own funds and not anybody else's. So if you're interested in a iShares fund, for instance, you would not be able to invest in this through the Vanguard platform. The type of funds they offer can be broken into three groups: blended funds, equity funds, and fixed income funds. Blended funds, which could also be considered a fund of fund, is invested in multiple funds. So within one fund, there would be multiple companies that are included under this fund. But with a blended fund, it is invested in multiple funds. So this can very quickly add up, and you could be investing in thousands of companies just by investing in one blended fund. So really, I would say this is diversification on steroids. Equity funds are made up of index funds and ETFs. If you're not too sure what an index fund is or an ETF is, then I've linked above another video where I talk about what this means. And lastly, there are fixed income funds, which are primarily made up of government bonds or corporate bonds. You also have the ability to store cash in your Vanguard account, but currently they do not offer any interest on the cash that you hold within your account. So in order to open a Vanguard investor account, you will of course need to provide your personal details, such as your full name, your address, and your bank details. Vanguard offer two options to their investors to meet the minimum deposit requirements. So you can either pay a lump sum of £500 as a one-time payment into your account, or you can set up a direct debit of £100 a month. I will say, however, that I have heard that people have been able to successfully open a Vanguard account with depositing less than the £500 maximum and not setting up a monthly direct debit. But I personally had just made one lump sum payment when I first opened my Vanguard account, so I can't speak to that from personal experience. I also want to point out that for UK investors, there is no Vanguard app that you can use. So if you're used to using an app for your investments, then that is not something that Vanguard offer. However, the web browser does work perfectly fine on your mobile phone, and I've used it multiple times and have no issues. It's quite easy to navigate and it's quite intuitive, but personally I do quite like that they don't have an app, because I really do feel it promotes this long-term investor mindset. The idea isn't that you need to check your investments every day, because they are working for you. Once your money is invested in a fund, everything is controlled for you. You don't really need to be concerned whether it goes up or down. You're meant to leave it for a long-term goal, essentially. According to my YouTube analytics, there are some people watching from the US and even some people watching my videos from Australia. So what I'm talking about today is specifically to the UK, because the Vanguard platform in the US is actually very different to what we have here in the UK. One of the ways that I know that they are different is that the minimum deposit requirements are a lot higher in order to invest in some mutual funds in the US. I think it sits at around $3,000 to invest in some of these funds. So that's really different from the UK. So I'm specifically talking to the UK today. So that's it for part one. I hope that this has given you a bit of a good overview of Vanguard to start with. If you don't have a Vanguard account open already and you want to do it, then I highly recommend it. I use them, I love the platform, and I believe in what they believe in as a company, and that's essentially keeping as much money as possible in your investors' pockets. So we pay less fees as investors, which means we have more money to invest and go to good use in other ways. If you found this video helpful, then please do hit the like button below, and feel free to leave any comments about what you thought about this video or what you think about the Vanguard platform in general. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in part 2 really soon.